Welcome to the War Room. This is behind the scenes of how I run my company, Profit Factory, a real backstage pass to see how we use the exact tools that we teach all the time, like Scrum and systems, to build out our very own business. So I'll give you a very quick tour here of what you're seeing, and maybe it'll give you a few tips on how you can build out your company too. So down here on this big whiteboard, it's all Post-it notes and cue cards. And those are kind of like the highest level goals that I have for the quarter. As you move around the room, this is some of kind of like the problem solving that I need to do to think about like, hey, how can I solve this problem or this situation, brainstorming and whatnot. And then as we move around, now we get into the real nitty gritty. So these are all kind of like projects that I want to get done. And as I plan every 2-week period, which we call a sprint, then it ends up on this, which is called the Kanban board. So there's 3 major columns. There's to do, doing, and done. Now you can see that there's like right there, there's like a cluster of notes together. And so those are all around one project. And when there's a cluster, that means that I've been unpacking the project. So unpacking means taking an entire website and saying what goes into a website. We've got a logo, we've got an opt-in form, we've got blog posts, etc., etc. But then from there, maybe a blog post has what's the image that's going to go into it, what's the copy, do we need to get some more interviews done. So every task has the possibility of being broken down. Don't want to break it down too far because then it just becomes ridiculous, but helps you to kind of keep things moving. So by moving, I mean if I know that this particular project has sub-stickies or sub-tasks, now I can delegate those to different people. It's not just one big project, it's 4 smaller stickies, so I can delegate that to other people. And it also allows me to move each step along the board so that in the done column, I can get a sense visually of what's happening. So I can see here, I'm about halfway through this sprint, and you can see there's still so much to do, and so I might need to pick up the pace or delegate more to other people, get a contractor involved, who knows. Now, here's a tip. It's obviously a very low-tech option to run your project management this way. It's basically Post-it notes with a Sharpie for writing on the Post-it notes, cue cards, like basically recipe cards that you pick up from Staples or Office Depot, whether you're in Canada or the US. And then from there, green painter's tape. Now this is a really important tip. See that right there? See how ugly that is? That's ripped drywall. That's what happens when you use something other than green painter's tape. If you use even the white masking tape can rip drywall, and God help you if you use like something crazy like duct tape, because you will rip off huge chunks of your drywall. So at any rate, hint, don't use anything other than green painter's tape or else you'll end up with that right there. Not good. If you think that this is a really interesting way to work and you'd like to know more, I'm actually writing a book called Scrum for Business. If you go to scrumforbusiness.com, you can opt in to get on our pre-order list, which means I'll send you a few of the chapters ahead of time. You can give some feedback, ask some questions, and be a part of the actual creation of the book, which is really nifty. So that's at scrumforbusiness.com. And once the book finally becomes available, I'll make sure that you know about it right away. Scrum is very different when used in a small business than when it's used in the world of big corporations or developing software, which is where Scrum was originally developed over the last 20 years, was in Silicon Valley. So this is Scrum for Business, and you can see that really it's just an empty room in my house, walls, tape, Post-its, Sharpies, and that's it. Hopefully that helps and gives you some new ideas on how you can build your business more successfully, more quickly than ever.